So welcome everybody to our Body Positivity in Cosplay panel. I thought we'd start with a quick introduction, tell a little bit about ourselves and what our perspective in the cosplay community has been. Did you want to start?
Sure. I am Vermilion Fire, or V-Fire, or Mercedes. I get called a lot of things.
Wonderful being one of them.
Oh, thanks. That's not what some people... Not just kidding. I've been cosplaying for about 11 years now, and I love cosplay. It's been my thing for pulling me out of my shell and helping me be more confident in who I am and all that kind of fun stuff. I also love to compete, so I've been a competitor for the whole time I've been cosplaying. One of my friends threw me headfirst into that, so
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm Pannon. I've been cosplaying for almost 20 years. In that time, I've gone all over the country here and gotten about between 50 and 60 awards nationwide, and then 2 international titles. And also the first plus-size team to represent the USA in Japan at World Cosplay Summit. Yeah. Which is kind of my perspective. Is for a number of years we had other teams telling us you're never going to get in. They don't pick plus-size people, and we made it. So yeah.
Wrong.
So that's my point of view. We just did want to mention at the beginning, like. Body positivity, like we can only share from our limited perspective, so clearly we're not going to have all types, all angles, all sizes, all heights, all colors, but it is so important. Listening is the most important thing of all. So we also wanted to have a mic so you guys can share your experiences in cosplay. So if throughout the panel, like this is interactive, we want you guys to raise your hand. We want you guys to be able to share. I think the more we hear and understand each other, the more closely knit we come together as a community. So cool, that's me.
I'm David. I am the editor of Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I am the cosplay noob in this group. I think I've done like 3 cosplays that I count as cosplays. So that's great. I haven't done any major competitions as of yet, although after seeing last night's performance of the cosplay contest,
Wow.
I am inspired, and I am
really
going.
good.
This is a goal of mine now. So yeah, mostly I just kind of stand back and I watch these 2 excel, and I just try to make them sound as pretty as they look.
Aww.
So we tried to have a variety of folks on here. It helps that we all have a podcast together. But what was I going to say? My biggest thing with cosplay and body positivity in general is if you're putting another group down to feel better, you're not fixing the problem, you're pushing it somewhere else. So that's something that we want to focus on, is building all of us up together and not pushing one group ahead of another. Mm-hmm. I call it the all about that bass issue, because I wanted to love that song, I really did, until they got to the part where they were digging on skinny girls, and I was like, no, we can all be good, we can all be good. So yeah. So the first thing we wanted to talk about is why body positivity is important to each of us, and I would also really like to hear from anybody else who'd like to share, but we're going to go first, and if you guys want, you can line up there and we'll get to as many as we can. Do you want to start?
No.
I'll start.
Sure.
I'm nervous.
So I will say that I am a white, semi-straight guy, right? Male presenting. So I have a lot of things given to me on a platter, right? Like the video game culture, movie culture, everything says men are whatever, right? Whatever adjective you want to say, like they're the best, they're supreme, whatever. And I hate that. I hate that trope. I grew up with all these women in my life who were just amazing, and they never got to see that same representation. So I recognize that I am coming from a place of privilege as I say these words. So keep that in mind, because I know that it's messed up out there. But I'm also this human garbage can of joints and broken bones and anxiety and whatnot, and we don't see the skinny guy take the victory a lot of the time, right? Even on the more popular cosplays out there, we have that opportunity to see like super buff cosplay guys. And I'm lucky if I can pick up a twig some days. I have a really bad knee, so I can't do a lot of the cool jumps and flips, and that also prevents me from doing some of the exercises that I would like to do. And it sucks. It's really frustrating to be sitting there and watching these people do cosplay goals where I don't feel like I can have that body image, right? So the main thing that I just want to focus on at any point in time is like, screw it. It's your thing. You get to do whatever you want to do, regardless of your body type, regardless of your gender, regardless of anything. You should be able to do what makes you happy in the end.
I like that. Do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go now.
Okay.
So body positivity to me is liking yourself, liking who you are, as well as like your body. Like, this is the one that you have, it's the only one you've got. And for me, like a lot of like the feminine side of me and whatnot, I tried to like not address and or like just like, no, that's bad, femininity's bad. And you know, like in high school it was, I'm gonna be a mechanical engineer and sewing's for girls. And I have used cosplay to kind of explore not just like the masculine side of myself, but the feminine side as well. And now I love, you know, definitely certain types of characters I like to cosplay and whatnot. And I don't care if they're male or female. That's just, I want to cosplay the characters that make me feel good. And it's taken me a long time and a lot of good supportive friends and whatnot to come to like my body as it is. Like and like you're all looking at me, you're like, oh, she's just skinny, and you know, I was like, I am thin. I did grow up though being the heaviest out of all my siblings, and that was always a thing that would be kind of teased about in a way, which was kind of like a funny thing, but at the same time it did get under my skin and bother me. And I didn't feel like I could ever complain about that because I was smaller than all of my friends. So I was the biggest out of my family, but the smallest out of all my friends. My family runs tiny. And so, like, that kind of stuff is just, like, it left me in a place where I was like, well, I just shouldn't like my body at all. And, you know, just ignore that. You know, I never wore makeup. I never... You know, like, I liked curly hair, so I permed my hair a lot. I don't know if that was good or bad, so... but, like... I don't know, I think I was cute with curly hair. But, like, coming to the point where, like, I was able to like my body as it is in both female and male cosplays has been, like, such a journey for me. I actually have a cosplay. I love chic. I love people debating on the internet if I'm male or female in chic. It's the best. This is internet fights. It's like, you guys can debate.
Yes.
Yes. So I had a bunch of extra fabric from the chainmail print that I got for that costume, and so I turned it into a bikini, and I'd never worn a bikini before. Like, it was always, that was another thing growing up too, is modesty is hot and blah, blah, blah. No. Anything's hot.
Modest is hottest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we're from Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I'm gonna bury my memories of that old
The
me who
acknowledgement
did
in the
that.
audience is kind of great. Oh, no, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I designed my own bikini, and like I made it all based around chic because I love chic, and I was like, I want to be this like super fun version of chic where it's a bikini and it's fake chainmail bikini, which would be hilarious. Like, I love comedy. And I made it and I loved it and I enjoyed doing that. And then I actually went and got an actual bikini for going swimming. And gosh dang, why didn't I do that sooner? They dry faster than a full swimsuit. I hate like coming out of like the pool or whatever and you're just like sitting there wet for forever because your swimsuit's all soaked. But a bikini just dries immediately, I swear, it's great. So yeah, but it took me a long time to get to that point. And I have a very supportive husband that has helped me like myself as well. So
Good.
yeah, support groups. Find yourself people who like you too.
Yeah. For me, why body positivity is important to me is when I was 14, I think was when I got into anime. It was when I started like watching Sailor Moon and seeing all these positive female role models, and I loved it so much. I dressed as Sailor Moon for Halloween, and at the time I didn't really think, my body doesn't look like that. But I did notice the more I watched, the more I was like, there are no bodies that do look like mine presented in this media. And so I am 6 feet tall. I am very plus size. And so whenever there would come groups when I was early in cosplay, I never got cast as the characters I wanted because they were all small, they were all cute, or they were female, and I make a better male or whatever they would tell me. And it took a lot for me to be able to make that leap and go, I want to do what I want to do. I want to cosplay things that make me happy. And I don't want anyone to feel like there's just a switch that you flick one day where you're like, I am so positive about myself all the time. Every single day I wake up and think I look amazing, because that's not how this works. I have ups and I have downs. I have days where I don't even want to look in a mirror because I get so down on myself. But I think what Mercedes said, surrounding yourself by people who are supportive of that, who encourage you to be what you want to be, is so important. And you want to be around people that are going to raise you up and not people who are going to force you to fit the mold of what they want you to be. So body positivity, almost by default as a plus size cosplayer, has been something that was really important and that I have consistently tried to support in other people, because not only do I think that it needs to be talked about, but I think that it helps me as a plus size cosplayer accept myself more, to get it out in conversation more. So for this cosplay I wore today, it's Gerudo Link from Breath of the Wild. I was very, very nervous about doing this one at all because I absolutely hate how my stomach looks, and it's a tummy midriff bearing cosplay. But I made my official motto for the year, don't wait to cosplay, spelled like wait. So I set cosplay goals that, I've always wanted to do this. I saw this and I wanted to do this cosplay, and I'm like, my weight doesn't matter. I want to do this. I want to have fun. I want to be this character. And I was really, really nervous about doing it at all. And I wore this for the first time this year at Anime Expo, and the positive reactions that I got there, I honestly wanted to cry, and it was good that I had this little face mask so people couldn't see how wibbly I got sometimes, because
it must be raining outside.
Yeah, I know. So it was so nice to hear people give me positive feedback, people who were supportive, people who were like, yes, rock it. Or even people who said, I never see a body that looks like mine in cosplay, and you did it so well. And I wish I had those same, thoughts when I was younger. So I'm like, I want to help be that role model and show them that can be done. You can cosplay at any size. You can cosplay at any body type. So yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Did either of you want to share a personal experience? Anyone in our audience want to share? Yeah, come on up to the center mic here.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Sorry to put you on spotlight.
No, you're okay. So that actually kind of worked because I like being spotlight. My husband and I together have 15 siblings.
Wow.
Between the two of us. I'm the oldest of 8. He's the middle of 9.
Did you also come from Salt Lake City?
Not Mormon, Mennonite.
Okay.
But between us, we have 7 sisters, 7 brothers, and 1 genderqueer sibling that's still trying to figure out, what they feel. And it's between them, we have 1 football player, 1 5'8", 110-pound artist. We have me, who's short and stout, and everything in between, ranging in age from 20 to 2. And it's having that ability to say that it's okay to be different and not have them feel like their body's wrong because they're not like the rest of us, and that we're not like each other. and it's nice to have that acceptance in it. And like between our family, we have my mom who does burlesque dancing, and their mom who is a stay-at-home Mennonite who still wears the dresses and
Also
veils.
awesome.
And it's just knowing that it's okay to be either, and it's just what you choose to
Absolutely.
be, and that you can choose to be all the way to one side, all the way to the other, or a happy medium. It's nice.
I really like that. You can just choose to be whatever you want to be. And I love that. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you.
Hello. You might turn that down.
Yeah.
My name is Cleveland, and I've been cosplaying for about a good 6 years now. And
I love your voice.
thank you. Thank you.
Can we have you introduce our new podcast from here on out?
I,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I love ASMR, by the way. But moving on. Been cosplaying for about 6 years and getting deep into the scene here in Colorado. Started off just doing mainly black characters, but the first, I guess he's coded white, but I think he's like an alien anyway, Spike Spiegel.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was
yeah.
my first non-black cosplay character,
Yeah.
and the reaction I got initially was a good bit of pushback, but the cosplay community as a whole came and defended me righteously,
Yes.
and
Hell yeah.
it boosted my confidence up to like a massive level to when I was going to like 4 or 5 conventions a year, doing so many different cosplays of different white coded characters. And so I did Aizawa from My Hero Academia, and I posted it on Reddit, and I got brigaded by a whole bunch of racist assholes, and it left me in a really bad funk for about a year. And this convention is the first convention I've cosplayed at since then. I did Rude from Final Fantasy VII,
Oh,
slid
nice.
back into a comfort zone as a black character, yada yada yada. But a lot of people, one, recognized the character, two, gave me so much positive feedback, and I like it was at one point I was cosplaying with my homeboy because he was rude, Reno, and I was rude, and we were walking down, and we would get off the elevator, and like every 5 feet we would stop for pictures. Every 5
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
and that like yesterday I was just on cloud 9, and it just made me feel so happy with myself. Once I still struggle with self-image issues as well, because I'm not a big buff black guy, but I sound like one. And it's just the community, when you have a community of people who actually preach and practice what they preach, that's a key aspect of keeping a culture of good and a community whole.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank y'all for doing stuff like that as well, because I also I co-manage a page on Instagram called Cos Positive, where we try to put everyone else that's not the ideal in the spotlight. And
I love that.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
If you have pictures of your Spike Spiegel, I would love to see those because Spike is my favorite. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, meet us after.
Yeah.
Mine's not entirely cosplay related initially, but and I'm pretty comfortable with my body in general, but similar to you and you, the masculinity and femininity was a struggle growing up, and also the midriff, like Kim Possible is one of my favorites, and I would like try on a crop top, and then I was like, no.
Yeah.
But my actual question is, in addition to talking yourself into taking that step, I have a friend who really struggles with body images in general. They're complaining about gaining 30 pounds when they're still underweight scenario. And they love a bunch of cosplay characters that they don't think they have the body type for. And it can be a sensitive issue to say, no, just go for it, which you should, but how do you gently broach them so you're not just that obnoxious friend that says, do it anyway, I don't care that you're anxious, just go.
That's the hard part is like if somebody's ready to cosplay, I think they will take steps to do it. If they're not, pushing them about it is just going to make them dig their heels back and try harder not to. It's also really hard from that perspective of someone who's smaller and seeing like them complaining about weight, where you're like, no, but you're small, it's okay. But we never know what other people's struggles are like, and what seems like beauty to us in the mirror, they may be seeing something totally different. But in encouraging them, I would definitely suggest, like, if they go, oh, I love this character so much, encourage them to be like, you would be a great that character. Your face is great for that. Your body would be awesome for this. Like, talk up the positive things about them and why they would be good for that. It doesn't have to be because their body fits it. It could just be like, oh, you embody so much of this character. I love how your attitude is just like that character.
Or even, wouldn't it be fun to make this part of the costume? Because
Yeah.
like that's one of my big driving things is like, oh man, this is really cool. I want to make that part.
Or even like, I would love to do this with you.
Yes.
If you feel up to it.
And we just started sewing together. Last year, he taught me how to make a pirate costume
Aw.
from scratch, which was not wise while watching Coraline in the background. I didn't know what Coraline was, and then it opens up with sewing, and I'm like, oh!
Oh no.
But no, I appreciate both of that, and we're definitely big prop nerds. So.
Thank you.
One of the things, before you step away, one of the things that I did is, again, skinny guy. I can't gain weight to save my life. I will admit I am 117 pounds. That is unhealthy, but I can't gain the weight. So I embraced it. And this is another place where you kind of have to be. I'm not saying that, just embrace it and give them a skinny character to play, right? But by having somebody who you can be like, yeah, I can do this. So I did pre-serum Captain America, right? So like, not a lot of people are going to go out pretending to be Captain America unless they can be that character. But if you can, there's so many opportunities like the Gojinka Pokemon or anything along those lines. Just because it's a character doesn't necessarily mean it can't be in your imagination.
Yes.
I've done D&D characters. I did real people. I did a Freddie Mercury that will never see the pictures in the light of day. But at the same, I'm not ashamed of it. My wife was ashamed of it, and my wife is my worst critic. So there's this opportunity to like make it fit your body type regardless, or make it so that way it makes sense to your body type. So that pre-serum cap, I loved it, and I got that same response of just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for you. And like, yeah, it sucks that I can't be the big muscular Chris Evans post-serum, but at the same time, this is my Captain America. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's a struggle. So thank you for bringing it up.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
I've been coming to NDK since I was about 16, I think, and I just wanted to start cosplaying when I think it was 14 when I went with one of my friends for one of the days, and I said, I want to cosplay Sailor Mercury. And my friend looks at me and goes, Sailor Mercury isn't fat.
Okay.
So,
F them.
right? They're no longer my friend. But
Mercury is the best.
I know, right? So I didn't feel comfortable in cosplay until about 2016 when my friend, who's a master level cosplayer, made a rose quartz outfit, and I bought it from her, and it was great. So
Rose quartz is all of our moms, just FYI.
Yeah.
and then it was just challenging because I haven't done cosplay for a while since, and then my friends convinced me to be police girl for their Helsing group.
Oh,
Yeah.
Saris.
It happened on Saturday.
I didn't see you yesterday. I was too busy getting stopped every 5 feet.
Yeah, but to your point of finding that characters represent you in old school Disney or cartoons, is like you have to make that for yourself, and I can wholeheartedly appreciate it after that. And when Steven Universe came on, I think I about bawled when Rose Quartz came on there. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
me.
I'm glad that didn't stop you from going forward and doing cosplay.
I'm glad it didn't because there was some drama, and now, the con community is a lot better than it used to be.
Good.
I read this fantastic thing about Steven Universe. It was like one of those Tumblr posts, and Steven Universe makes this great point to point out everyone is attractive on that show. Someone says Greg, the dad bod, people call him hot. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, oh, look at Garnet, she's beautiful. Look at Pearl, she
gets hit on by the mayor.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's what I think we should strive for as not only a community but as a
Yes,
world.
is like complimenting everyone because everyone's bodies are beautiful.
Hi.
More like advice. coming here dressed even like this, I've actually relearned to just not care what other people think. Just ignore the stares, ignore the people, and it's mostly the people out there. And not only that, I also don't remember when I heard this or who I heard it from, but that cosplay is a love letter to your favorite character.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
I like
Shouldn't really
that.
matter
That's
what you
good.
look like, just write your love letter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
I love that. Thank you.
That's sweet. I'm gonna cry now. Hi. I have kind of like two separate things, and I think one was in response to yours about like having friends who are struggling with like, I want to do a cosplay, but I don't feel comfortable in my body about doing it. In that, like, I think it can really help to like sit down with your friend and like actually kind of talk it out and work out like what exactly about it makes you uncomfortable. Are you uncomfortable because you don't feel you actually embody like the physicality of the character itself? And that can be like a separate thing working through of like, okay, well, first of all, it's okay to look however your body looks, it also be the character. And second of all, if you want, make it more about acting like the character, which can be just as fun if they like acting and things like that. Or if it's more like a concern of, I am afraid of what other people will say about my body as this character, then that's a different topic of trying to work out, well, okay, how can we help you develop a bit of a thicker skin? Or if people start saying those things, what can I do to like extract you from the situation? Or like, can I make a promise to you of promising to defend you? And just kind of like finding the actual specific root of the issue and finding a way that works with your friends to help comfort them and help work and support them through it, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Absolutely, that's great
I
advice.
forgot to breathe for a second.
You're getting really passionate, and I love it.
Yeah. I don't know if that helps at all, but like I think like for me, for cosplaying, having someone to do that helps me a lot. And then I think the other thing I wanted to say is like kind of just to maybe get your thoughts on this, because this is something I think a lot about as a, I like the word fat. I don't know if you prefer fat or plus size, but like as a fat person, it's always kind of a struggle for me of like, do I want to do a cosplay? Like, it's one thing to say like, how do I want to word this? Sorry, I got up here and was like, oh wait, I had a script and I forgot it. It's always kind of an eternal debate of like, do I want to cosplay fatter characters and say like, for example, like Rose Quartz, which is this really great and beautiful, like sort of like a glorified fatter plus size body that says this can also be beautiful, and being able to go out into a world and say, look, there are characters like this that are beautiful. But is it like, do you want to do something like that? Or like, it's also just as important to say, I'm going to take this skinny character and go cosplay this skinny character as a fat person.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And it's like, it's always kind of a debate, not necessarily because like, not saying like you can't do a skinnier character, like not can I or can I not, but in the sense of like, what would be more beneficial to the community of like showing which sides of these coins? Does that make sense?
What statement am I making?
Exactly.
while wearing this?
I mean,
get you.
I honestly think both of them are important. And personally, when Steven Universe first came out, I hesitated to get into it because first thing people said was so many people messaged me saying, cosplay Rose Quartz, cosplay Rose Quartz. And I'm like, okay, she's beautiful, but I don't appreciate that you picked it just because she's plus size.
Exactly.
I could be anyone in that show. Like, don't tell me to do her just because she's plus size. And watching the show, I love it. It's so much fun. But I think there was that initial like, because of how it was presented to me.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what I worry about, because like on the one hand, like you kind of want to do something like that to say like, get
Thank
extra
you for this
exposure for this character of like,
representation,
we
yeah.
should have this representation. But on the other hand, it kind of forces this sort of like situation of like, forcing the box onto larger people of like, you can only be these fat characters. We'll say you're beautiful and gorgeous, but only if you're the fat ones. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's something I really worry about a lot.
Well, it's like there's. I've got a friend who's also black, and when Black Panther came out, he's like, "Stop telling me to cosplay Black Panther. I want to cosplay him because I like him, not because he's black."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's important to have both, honestly, because as a plus size fat person, fluffy person, however you want to call it, like I will answer to all. But I think it's important that we show that we like seeing those characters in the media. I appreciate that they're being represented. I want to see more of that.
It comes back to, if you like the character, do it. It's your, like you said, the love letter to cosplay. It's the love letter to that character. And that's what your costume should be, whether, no matter what the character is. If you love that character, do it.
Yeah, but like I absolutely agree like with the not mattering like what the character is. Like one of my absolute favorites, and I talked about this in an earlier panel because I got a little bit emotional, was Prompto from Final Fantasy 15. And one of his biggest character arcs is his struggle with his weight and his anxiety and his imposter syndrome and his like so many things that I'm just like yes, 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 checking all these boxes. And I like, even though his weight loss is a major part of like where he is in the world today, I still felt like I related so hard to this character and I wanted to represent him, and I didn't care like what size or if it looked weird that I was fat and cosplaying Prompto. I was like, no, he is important to me, doesn't matter what size I am.
In the end, I think it should just be what's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Regardless of your statement.
Yeah.
What's going to make you happy in that moment.
But I love the idea of seeing more plus size, more any like not the set character model as the characters, to just show how much you love them.
Yeah.
If your goal is to be a voice, and just like you were for the I've never seen someone cosplay with that and do it well, I'm so excited now, but you want to take it easy, you could also just NDK is 3 weekends, like multiple, you can be the voice of the beautiful Rose Quartz or Link and just have at it with everything. Plus, cosplays have different comfort levels, so
Yeah.
it's always good to bring more to one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So my story kind of started around, I want to say almost 4 years ago. I was just like, I always wanted to cosplay, but looking at cosplays, they were always so expensive for bigger girls. Either they just wouldn't fit at all, or you would have to get them custom made, and that was even more expensive. So me and my husband, we were trying to start cosplaying because he wanted to get into it too, and that was actually, NDK was our first convention that we ever actually came to together. And then he actually inspired me to do my own cosplay, but at the same time I started his too. So he kind of works as my model, as per se. And then I actually kind of wanted to start to get into like YouTubing, and the reason why I wanted to do YouTubing is just so other people can because I know some like life hacks, like to dress up for certain cosplays. Like for example, I cosplayed as Bulbasaur, and yeah,
I love Bulbasaur.
I cosplayed as Bulbasaur, and like I don't like my stomach region on this side, so I tend to wear baggier stuff. And I made my cosplay kind of pointed and longer, so that way it kind of fans out, kind of like a skirt, but then it points at the middle, so it covers my stomach, but at the same time I could wear shorts with it because it was slit on the side, and it worked perfectly. So it's like that's kind of the reason why I wanted to start my YouTube channel, just so I can do like life hacks so people can feel more comfortable and like get more out there on doing cosplays, because the cosplay honestly doesn't really have to be exactly like the character.
Right.
You could always, fan art it or something like that. But
Yes.
I've been cosplaying for almost 4 years now. So
Awesome.
yeah. So
I absolutely love seeing different interpretations of the same character. Like you could have like just like say a Sailor Moon, but you see like 100 different takes from all these different backgrounds and cultures and people. Just it blows my mind to see that kind of creativity and love devoted to the characters. So
yeah, and then also my friends, they were actually really stick skinny in high school, and now that they grew older, they just kind of gained quite a bit of weight, and I just wanted to kind of be there for them because they were still really uncomfortable with their bodies. And we actually did a group cosplay yesterday of Fate. And we were all plus size except for my friend's little sister.
Wow.
And we actually got a lot of attention.
Awesome.
Good.
That is so cool.
I was Ren, my friend was Nero, and then I'm not sure what my other friend was because it's from a series. She looked like a fox with like purple.
Mama.
Yeah. So.
Those are words I understood.
But yeah, so they've been asking me like what kind of hacks, and I kind of felt good about that because now that they're kind of starting to accept themselves as well, like obviously staying healthy, but they're also trying to accept themselves and trying to find new ways to feel more comfortable.
That is awesome.
And all that, so I just kind of felt cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're going to grab the people that are still standing, and then we're going to switch to a new question, if that's cool. So,
So, I have a character that that's really like near and dear to my heart. It's Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura and Tsubasa.
And you look so cute as her.
Thank you. And like, she like the thing that makes her important to me is how she accepts and loves people, no matter who or how they are. And with Sakura, I had several friends that were really important to me come up at years after we had been cosplaying or in and around, well, not in each other, around each other, with each other. And a couple of them eventually came up and they were like, hey, well, one of them actually came up and was like super shy and embarrassed. I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, I kind of secretly always wanted to be Sakura, but I didn't think that I could fit or look a certain way like how you portray her. And it made me so sad because everyone can be Sakura because all you have to do is love and accept everyone.
Yeah.
And I just go nuts. So I used to be really shy about, going up to other cosplayers that I didn't know. And now I like make a conscious effort. Ever since that interaction, when I see a Sakura, I just go nuts.
Oh my God.
One of my friends actually last night was joking. They're like, I knew where you were in the audience when certain people came on stage. So I think it's important to help each other because,
Definitely.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Your mask is terrifying, by the way.
Good. I'm glad. So I've been struggling with my body image for like ever, I guess. And like I made a decision to cosplay someone who's canonically like literally the perfect thin body. And I was like, well, if I'm not thin like her, then it's a joke. And it took a long time for me to rationalize that, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's cosplay. Literally, no one is going to care as much as me. And trying to get over that, I kind of had a thought the other day that, like, cosplay is about transformation. It's about literally becoming someone who does not look like you. So if you don't look like them, good. And then, like, we mentioned Steven Universe, and I kind of had another thought. It's like, well, cosplay is kind of like a fusioning. It's kind of like between you and this character. It's like, don't think about like, well, I have to become them. They have to become me.
I love that.
So, I don't know.
I legit like that. That got me. That got me.
I think just in general, Steven Universe is very important. I'm getting that impression.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, so my body positivity, this is my body positivity year.
Yay!
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My issues started in middle school. My mom and aunts aren't the best. They constantly compared me to my sister, which was shaming both of us for our weight, which then they compared us to our other sister. But we've both been doing better. I started cosplaying, and with my group of friends, they've been helping me this year, doing better. Co-op was my, like, one where I wore, like, a short dress, like, to here. I was Midnight from My Hero Academia. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And which is, like, a lot of confidence. And then I also wore, like, a lot of crop tops, and now I wear a lot of skirts. I'm not right now because I'm mom.
Day of con, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
You are comfy cosplay. That
Yeah,
is
so
important
comfy
cosplay
right
too.
now. Except for when I'm dying of heat. But yeah, I've been working on my own cosplays. Like I'm gonna for another con. I've been working on my rave outfit, which is basically like this bralette thing with like this tutu. Yeah, and so I'm working on it, and I've been working on my body positivity. Yeah, it's been great because I've had so many friends who are like, "Do it, you'll look great," and they like we're always like complimenting each other, and it's just a great
group because and like coming to this also like has made me so teary-eyed hearing about everyone
I'm hearing your story growing up, and I'm like, yes, all of this,
I know.
so much.
Like I was already like tearing up before coming in, and Steven Universe is great too. My friends and I have been planning cosplays for that too. My brother's doing Pink Diamond.
Oh.
I don't know when, but I know we're planning on doing a collection of pearls, pink pearls to go with the Pink Diamond, and I'm gonna be one. But and for that one, it's also gonna be a lot because it's kind of like a two-piece swimsuit kind of like appearance one. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Very cool. So one of our next questions, yay, hugs. One of our next questions was going to be, how has cosplay changed the way you think about body positivity? And I think the stories you guys have shared have really shown that, how cosplay has given you a more positive outlook on yourself, how it's made you feel more confident, how it's helped you find friends who are actual supports to you. Do you guys have anything you wanted to share in that vein, or?
I was just gonna say that I feel most powerful in my female cosplays and most beautiful in my dude cosplays. Thank you.
You guys all said it probably better than I ever could. It's by being that person that you want to be in those moments is fantastic, and having those people in your life that continue to support that, those are the people that you want to keep around.
I really appreciated that story that you shared, because growing up, like, I remember when I hit middle school and my mom took me to the plus size end of the shopping center and going there for the first time and her saying, this is the only place that has clothes that'll fit you. And just like a knife in my heart, basically. And so when I started cosplay and started getting into the characters that I liked more and more, it wasn't until I cosplayed as Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon, which had, as I said, Sailor Moon has been a big influence. I've been into it since I was 14. I didn't cosplay as her until I was almost 30 because I just didn't feel like I could embody that character. And once I did, I got these pictures back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually look beautiful. And sorry.
Anyone who hasn't seen those cosplay photos, she is
sorry, I hate to cry in front of people.
Here, let me do it for you. Here comes the tear.
But I also, it wouldn't be body positivity if we weren't crying.
Tears of joy, though.
But I got those pictures back, and I remember showing them to my mom, and the first thing she did was frame them and put them on the wall. And I was like, sorry, not just, I'm gonna hug you all. But it wasn't just showing the growth that I had made as a person, but also that she had in accepting that there are many different kinds of beauty and that we can all get there. So, sorry. I didn't think I would cry this hard. I feel like a dummy. But, so moving on to the more positive side of it, since we need to wrap up soon and I need to smile and laugh a little bit. Yes. So what I wanted to talk about last was, how do you guys build yourself up and remember that there's a space for you in cosplay? For me, it helped when I started surrounding myself with people who were supportive of me, with people who were willing to cheer me on and encourage me to play those parts that I was afraid to. And even this year, to make goals, to go, I have always put this aside. I have always said, that won't fit me, it won't look good on me, but dang it, I'm going to do it anyway. Think about what makes you excited about cosplay. Think of, I know that, like, everybody hears, positive self-talk, do better, tell yourself you're amazing. And like I was saying earlier, it's not all 100% saying positive things about yourself every day. We're not always going to be there. Sometimes you have to start small. Sometimes you have to just say, I may not love this body as it is right now, but I'm so grateful for what it has done for me and where it has brought me in this life. And sometimes you just have to start at the smallest level and focus on those things about yourself that you like. And some days you will be at 100%.
And taking good. Taking that into, like, if you want to post pictures of yourself on social media and things like that, if someone is ragging on you, one, sick me on them. Two, block them. They're not your audience. You don't need that. That's part of the surrounding yourself around people who support you, is that you don't need the people who call you, let's see, I've got hooker, I've got back fat. I'm proud of my back fat, thank you very much. All sorts of things. And just anytime I saw those, I was just like, you know what, you're not worth my time. So they're not. Yeah. I don't owe them anything,
right.
yes. And it's like, none of you guys owe them anything. It's your Facebook, it's your Instagram, it's your page, your space. Make it yours, and just,
Definitely.
yeah, they're not worth your time. Yes.
Something that helps with that a lot too, because sometimes with Facebook, even if you do block the person, the comment will still be there. I would honestly block and delete.
Block and delete.
Yes.
Yep.
You're gonna
Yep.
find yourself going back and reading those things every single time, and you
Yeah.
don't want to do that to yourself.
Yeah, block and delete. That's for the recording. Block and delete the comments too, because then you don't have to see that ever again. And that's what I had to do with the hooker comment. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
I had
Yeah.
a similar experience on my Tumblr where I shared one of my Princess Euphemia costumes from Code Geass, and someone reblogged it with the comment, "You're too fat to cosplay." And I was having a good day, and so. No, actually, I was like, no, this is not going to stomp on my day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to reply to this with all of the reasons why I am a very good cosplayer. Thank you very much. And I was like, I have won all of these awards. I have been internationally recognized as a great cosplayer. I have done this, and how dare you even say that? And sometimes it can be a real boost of confidence to be able to go out there and, yeah.
One of the things that I try and do personally to build myself up is to give that same energy out, regardless of if I'm in cosplay or not. I go to an IT office, and it's a bunch of dudes, and they're all very straight dudes. And I look at them and I go, "Hey, you're looking good today." It doesn't have to be like, "Man, you look fine," you know. That's gonna land me in the HR office, right? But by giving out that positivity and saying, "Hey, you look great. Hey, I really like that shirt on you today." You know, things along those lines, regardless of gender or anything along those lines, as long as you're not crossing that line of like making it weirdly specific, right? By saying those small things, that same coworker who's ex-Navy, you know, raised by a bunch of guys, looked at me the other day and goes, "David, you're looking cute today." Aww, and I was like, "Damn straight I am." So by giving that positive energy out in your everyday life, you're setting kind of that example. And also the second quick thing is the other night I was trying to make sure that these two were taken care of like, do you have this? Do you have that? Have you eaten anything? Have you had water or anything? And I said, as I'm getting ready to turn in for the night, I said, "I care for both of you so much, but I care for me more. I'm going to go to bed now." And that should be the most important thing. You can care for all of these people who might have a lot of dysmorphia or just uncomfortableness with their body. You can be there and you can care for them, but remember that you need to care for yourself a little bit more.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
Yep.
Right.
Can't pour from an empty cup was the comment.
Yes. I absolutely love what the cosplay community has done in like being so accepting of other people, but I also feel like we've mentioned, it's kind of a double-edged sword where you can see people who are going to snipe at you, who are going to do awful things, and it can be hard to talk yourself up into rising above that or to washing it off, letting it roll off. Block and delete is an awesome bit of advice. I see a couple more hands.
You
guys can come on up.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
please.
Totally, like, if you ever need to be like, "Hey, this person said this thing and you need a compliment for the day," I'll get on there. I will flood your feed with positivity because I love doing that. There's a joke. I may not be Dere, but I am Genki. So I'm not super cute, but I will go and cheer you on. I will fight for you. I will be like, "You can do it." And again, I think you're all beautiful here. So, all right, I'll let you. Sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Please.
But I think the thing you were saying about taking care of yourself, I had one of those kind of things this weekend. Just, it's been a long weekend. We've had some rough stuff go on, and I couldn't put together my big cosplay the last 2 days. I did it the first day. I just didn't have the energy to, and so I picked an obscure character. I know you probably can't tell. I'm Universe 1 Leela from Futurama.
Nice. Okay.
Because it's my natural hair color. I have the clothes. I have the armband in my purse. But
Perfect.
but it was finding something where I could still participate and have fun and not be afraid that it's obscure.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't feel good to not have people be like, oh, you're this thing, but I know what I am and I like it.
That's important.
Very cool. Thank you.
We are almost out of time, so rapid fire. So
Okay,
sorry.
Rapid fire. Quick advice: if you're super uncomfortable with like a cosplay, you're like, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing this. Practice wearing it at home. Wear it hanging out with your friends. Get comfortable in the actual physical outfit, and that'll help you be more comfortable like when you actually go out in public and use it. Done.
Absolutely.
Rapid fire.
I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Rapid fire. So giving back that same type of energy that you want to give, like that's been my core mantra. Like a lot of my friends here, they'll in being the cosplayers, and I'm the first one. You look so cool! Oh my god! Everybody calls me the hype man for that because I make sure they feel good.
Good. Yes.
And they need that positive energy, and like it's amazing.
It's
Awesome.
so
Thank
helpful.
you guys so much for coming. I meant it when I said come up for hugs if you want them after the show because I think we all need them. But give yourselves a round of applause too because
Thank you
representing.
guys.